Shabbos, everybody. I should ask for a raise, I think, maybe. I got double, he says, from what I got now. So this Parsha is, the theme of this Parsha that I'm going to focus on, because there's a lot going on, is reconciliation. So Parsha's Vayishlach opens up jumping right into the storyline of Jacob preparing to meet his brother Esau for the first time in many years. This is the setting. Jacob, his 2 wives, his 2 maidservants, his 11 children, finally left his father-in-law's home and were going back to Canaan. Jacob is traveling directly toward Edom. But the Torah doesn't tell us if he's traveling directly towards Edom because he's purposely meeting up with Esau, or if it just happens to be on the way back to Canaan, back to his homeland. So the understanding here is that Jacob has a bit of anxiety of not seeing or speaking to his brother, who he stole the birthright from. So there's a bit of anxiety that is associated, and I'm sure you can understand that meeting. He focuses on his reuniting with his brother, and he carefully plans the upcoming situation and was prepared for any possible circumstances or outcomes that he might come to after meeting the brother. The anxiety that Jacob held on to with regards to this meeting was, of course, based on his time as a teenager when he fled and this whole birthright situation. But now Jacob is a mature man. He's self-aware. He's successful, and he has a family to protect, so he prays to God for his safety. Along the way, at a certain point, prior to the meeting, Jacob separates from his family and spends the night alone. And this is the famous story of Jacob wrestling with a man. And this is the subject of complete books. This is commentators, countless commentary, and discussions by Torah scholars throughout the centuries. Some say it was Esau's angel wrestling with him, confronting Jacob before the meeting, like a dream of anxiety. Others say it might even be Jacob's own conscience, torn between running from the confrontation or doing the right thing and meeting him and finally having closure. Another scholar says it was God sending an angel to wrestle with Jacob to prevent him from running away, as he had the tendency to do that, compelling him now to confront his brother and close the anguishing chapter in his life. Whatever the answer, the message of the Torah is, it's repeated here as it's repeated with other stories in the Torah with reuniting brothers. Isaac and Ishmael at their father's funeral, Joseph and his brothers later on in the book, and now Jacob and Esau. It's about reconciliation. But the thing is, we define reconciliation, we automatically think of a positive outcome, a renewed relationship. Both in these stories and in real life, reconciliation does not always have to mean that a renewed relationship is a constant relationship. Jacob finally faces Esau. He realizes that he does not want a renewed, continuous relationship with him, but he just wants this encounter in order to have peace with himself and close this chapter. The meeting seems genuine. If you read it in the Torah, it seems genuine. Whatever the commentators say about Esau or the Midrash or whatever, if you read directly from the Torah, Esau seems genuine. And he wants and encourages Jacob to go with him to Edom, that's where he has settled, and make a life with him. Be a brother again. But Jacob doesn't want to do that. Jacob actually tells a little bit of a white lie, because he never has the intention. He wants the encounter, but that's it. So he tells his brother, you know what? I have a lot of family here, a lot of livestock, a lot of people. You go on ahead to Edom and I'll meet you there. And he never had the intention of meeting him there. He just wanted him to go on, and he wanted to do his own thing. This meeting was Jacob's reconciliation. After the meeting with Esau, the story moves on with Jacob moving on with his family to the next major storyline that we read, and that is the story of the daughter Dinah. Okay, Dinah, his only daughter, and she sleeps with the chief's Hittite son. His name is Shechem. The Torah's commentary uses the word rape. Okay? Being the only sister to 10 brothers, the actual consent to sleep with the guy or not sleep with the guy doesn't really matter, really. The brothers went out and took revenge on the community. The leaders of this community, they were massacred, and the shocking story was that Shimon and Levi were the ones that perpetrated this, but all the brothers, they didn't care, and they were part of this horrible story in the Torah. Now you have to understand that Jacob and the Hittite chief or king or whatever you want to call it, they made a deal that the two would marry. Dinah would marry the guy. And they agreed to be circumcised. And while they were resting from their circumcision, these two brothers went in and massacred the whole group. Very sad, gruesome story. It's chapter 34. In chapter 35, Jacob's name changed to Israel and is given the most beautiful blessing by God. God speaks to Jacob and tells him to go back to Bethel, the original spot where he slept over 20 years ago as he was on his way to his father-in-law's house. In reading this chapter, you get a sense of their family dynamics. The people in his family, the ladies, the kids, whatever, they had to get rid of all their idols. And if you remember that famous book, The Red Tent, this revolves around this story. And they had to get rid of the idols, and Jacob was the religious one in the family, and the one that held the family together. And he had his convictions, since he had these moments with God and his rituals. And then God appeared again to Jacob and blessed him and said, "You shall be called Jacob no more, but Israel shall be your name. I, El Shaddai, be fertile and increase a nation. Many nations shall descend from you. Kings shall issue from your loins. The land that I assigned to Abraham and Isaac, I assign to you," Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, "and to your offspring to come will I assign the land." And there it is, right there in the Torah, in this Parsha. It's our land. Finally, in Vayishlach ends with the ending chapter 36 is the lineage. It's devoted to Esau and his lineage. It is a historical account of various ethnic relationships among the tribes and clans of Isaac's older son. It is not a small description, but it is a detailed description of Esau. And then that's it. We don't hear of Esau again in the Torah. This is it. At the end, they give the lineage. Goodbye, Esau. Shabbat shalom.
Go ahead.